Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. As many places are closed due to COVID-19 restrictions, numerous arts and entertainment venues are showcasing virtual exhibits and performances, which is what this episode will consist of, as well as other activities one can do while social distancing. First, it's time for this week's trivia question, which will be answered at the end of the show. This week's question is, which current Saturday Night Live star's newest film is a personal project about a very trying subject? And now, for this week's local entertainment headlines. Pittsfield Farmers Market has changed into a virtual shopping center. A few weeks ago, the market decided to focus on the Berkshire community's needs for access to fresh food and farmers' needs for economic support. Food can be ordered online and delivered straight to home, and employees are following social distancing guidelines, including wearing masks. While the public can look at the farmers' market online at any time, shopping is only available from Mondays at noon until Tuesdays at 7:30 a.m., or until the maximum order limit is reached. Make sure to place your orders in quickly, as fresh food from the market tends to sell fast. Additionally, the farmers market is offering financial assistance. Delivery will be free to SNAP recipients, those who have lost their jobs due to COVID-19, and seniors. There will be a $5 delivery fee for everyone else. Visit rootsrising.org/virtual farmers market for more information. Since the Berkshire Museum is closed, museum executives have decided to create a virtual museum. There are many activities patrons can take part in. These include WeMuse, an education program for toddlers, What's in the Basement, a podcast discussing the history of the Berkshire Museum, She Shapes History, a virtual celebration of the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote, and Museum on Demand, where guests can take virtual tours and watch educational films from the littlest cinema. The Berkshire Museum is always changing their virtual exhibits, so make sure to check back frequently. Visit the website shown here for information about this new way at the museum. Clark Art is also taking the virtual approach. This is a great opportunity for art lovers to gather, even in this time of social distancing. Much of the staff and guest artists have put videos on display of the exhibits that were on display prior to the museum's closing, in addition to virtual tours at the Clark. Also, patrons can tour the museum's Research and Academic Program, or RAP, archive for lectures about art, film, literature, and how they all interact. There are new lectures posted every Tuesday, so make sure to check by the Clark Art Museum's website shown here frequently. It's time for this week's history portion of WWHEN. Our first stop is the Jacob's Pillow Dance Festival in Lenox. It canceled its 2020 season due to COVID-19. However, those interested in previous performances can watch selected dances at Jacob's Pillow's website. You can look them up by dance style, choreographer, year, and more. These performances do not require a subscription to watch and have been featured on the website for several years. Jacob's Pillow used to be a simple farm for over 200 years. It gained its name because it looked like the Jacob's ladder from the Bible. It wasn't until 1931 that modern dance pioneer Ted Shawn bought the farm as an artistic retreat. By 1933, Shawn had been interested in promoting dance for males, and decided Jacob's Pillow would be an excellent location for a male dancer showcase. The performance became a major hit and ran until 1940. By then, Shawn was in dire financial debt. That year, as a last gasp, he created the International Dance Festival, which showed off all styles of dance. The International Dance Festival was a huge hit, and local supporters were so impressed they formed the Jacob's Pillow Dance Committee and built a theater. This theater became the first performance space in America used solely for dance. Ted Shawn continued to help Jacob's Pillow in numerous ways until his passing in 1972. The future of the dance festival was in jeopardy until 1980. That year, new artistic director Liz Thompson's business acumen helped the dance festival regain its popularity. In 2000, it was named to the National Registry of Historic Places, and in 2011, it was awarded the National Medal of Arts, the highest presidential award possible for an artistic venue. Our second history stop is the Mahawie Performance Center in Great Barrington. It is currently closed and offering no virtual aspects. However, things could change in the upcoming weeks, so always stay tuned to WWHEN for those changes. The Mahawie Theatre has a unique history. In 1904, it was originally built as a movie theater. Its name is an Native American word meaning the place downstream, which described the location of the theater very accurately. The movie theater showed many different types of films over the next 8 decades, from silent films to musicals. In the late 90s, there were rumors of the destruction of the theater. The town of Great Barrington fought against this and gained protection from destruction. 2003 brought a major change to the theater. Under the guidance of Lola Jaffe and a dedicated board and staff, the theater raised over $9 million for a massive restoration project. Noted architect Hugh Hardy helped turn the building into a combination of a classic theater with modern touches. Jaffe was also instrumental in getting the Mahawie on the National Registry of Historic Places. Today, the Mahawie has maintained its movie theater roots, but it has also expanded to show music, dance, theater, opera, and more. It is a far cry from what it used to be. It's time for this week's movie and television news. The highly anticipated streaming service HBO Max debuted on May 27th. You can stream classic TV shows from the premium cable network, including such iconic shows as Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, Westworld, and more. HBO Max also offers TV beyond HBO. Shows not made from HBO available include The Big Bang Theory, Doctor Who, and Friends, whose move from Netflix to HBO Max has been highly anticipated. There is also a wide range of classic and modern movie hits available. These range from The Wizard of Oz to Wonder Woman. Additionally, there will be original HBO Max content, much like with most other streaming services. Nothing original has been released yet, however. The first 7 days of HBO Max are free, but afterwards it will be $15 a month. As stated in the past few episodes of WWHEN, newer movies are coming on demand with theaters closed. The latest movie to take this approach was The King of Staten Island, which came on demand on June 5th. This film tells the story of a young man who had lost his way after his firefighter dad tragically passed away and has been struggling to grow up. This movie stars Pete Davidson, Belle Powley, Marissa Tomei, and Steve Buscemi. This movie also supplies the answer to my trivia question. As stated earlier, this week's question was, which current Saturday Night Live star's newest film is a personal project about a very trying subject? The answer is Pete Davidson. Much like the lead character in this film, Pete also had a firefighter father, Scott Davidson. Sadly, Scott Davidson lost his life in the September 11th attacks. Pete Davidson has been criticized in the past for joking about tragedies on Saturday Night Live and his stand-up routines. However, he argues that the jokes are part of his coping mechanism for losing his father the way he did. Pete also said that this movie helped him cope even more. That ends Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube page at RT Wehry. Also, new episodes will be airing on PCTV on Spectrum Berkshire County, channel 1301. Visit www.pittsfieldtv.org for the full schedule. Thank you.